friends, and welcome to my podcast, the very, 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 very first episode of the podcast with just me, your host, Jamin. And if you're new to this, which you're brand new if you're watching it because this is the first episode, you're in for a treat. Kind of, if you like me anyways. You know why? Because it's just me today. I'm doing my first podcast by myself. The first episode of the Kinda Cool podcast featuring the one and only me. And just to kind of introduce myself and introduce this whole format that I'm going to go for, I'm going to try to have a new guest every week. Don't know who it is? Hey, if you're listening to this and you want to be a guest, hit me up. For real. No jokes. Whoever you are, if you hear this and you hear this part of the video or the podcast or the clip or whatever it is, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, my YouTube account. They'll leave a comment in this video, say, hey, I want to be on there, and I'll say, all right, we'll get you scheduled, because literally I just want to talk to people. I've always been very interested in podcasts and just multimedia formats in general. YouTube, all that stuff has been my dream job, I guess you could say, and especially podcasts. I think if anything, if I could be a professional podcaster with just making money enough to pay what I make now, I'd be fine with that, because I love to talk. I love to talk to people. I feel like I can have good conversations. So yeah, if anyone wants to be on, just hit me up. I will have mostly they'll go through Zoom. Or we could find an alternate way to do it if you prefer a different method. But the Zoom thing seems to be the closest one that I've got, the most experience with, that I know that I can do, and I know that it will work. So yeah, there's that. The other thing is really nothing. I really have nothing else to talk about. Like, I just hit record, and I wanted to get this little intro out there for people to join me, because I need guests. You need guests for a show. And I have no guest. It's just me. So I guess I'll talk about something. I'll talk about sports. NBA playoffs has started. I haven't seen any games yet, but because I don't have cable. Who has cable these days? Not me. I usually just watch the highlight clips, though, and I haven't really seen any of the highlight clips just yet. I think today is what's today? The 18th, Tuesday the 18th of August. Hey, my birthday's really close, but it just keeps creeping up on me. Oh yeah, and okay, before I get on tangents, I gotta clear my head. I gotta circle back. So I usually watch the highlight clips on YouTube, and they're fun. It's just so you get the whole game in like a 10-minute clip, and you're like, wow, why did I ever just watch the whole game? But you don't get that excitement of on the edge of like, oh, who's gonna win? You get it a little bit, because if you don't see who wins before you click it, it's kind of just a very condensed version of the game, and it gets down to it, and you're like, what's gonna happen? Sorry, I'm talking so fast. Wow, I'm just a little nervous. It's just me on the podcast by myself, and I'm making myself nervous. What if I have a very important guest? How am I going to act? What am I going to do? Am I going to freak out? God, I need to calm down a little bit. Now I'm talking to myself. Literally, I'm having a conversation with myself. Oh, I can just do this every day. I can have an interview with myself. But anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts about that's how I can consume my NBA games. I used to be super into them back when I was a kid. Grandma's house, dad's house. We always had cable growing up, so watched all the games that I could, because I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. Still, I don't know, and now it's close. My favorite sport to definitely play is basketball, because I loved basketball, playing it and watching it as a kid. So I think it's still technically my favorite sport, but my favorite sport to watch now is definitely football. I watch NFL football. I get cable, or I try to get a satellite or a dish or something, that I can get the local channels so I can watch football. So it's getting close to football season. My goodness, September is I mean, it's like 2 weeks, less than 3 weeks away, the first game. So that's so exciting. I'm so happy. I hope everything can work out fine with COVID and the football coming back. I think it's still a lot of undecided stuff going on with that. I haven't heard any news recently about it. But yeah, that's my favorite sport. My favorite sport to watch, football. Dallas Cowboys fans, hey, Dallas Cowboys fans, hit me up. We can talk. You know, you want to talk Cowboys? We'll come on the podcast, talk Cowboys. Anything, literally anything. You're a politician guy. You like politics? Come on, I'll talk to you about politics. The very little that I know, but you know, I'm up for that. Not against debate or just friendly conversations. I'm pretty chill. I feel like kind of cool guy. I'm a kind of a cool guy. That's why my channel is called James Kind of Cool. So I guess I'll go to a little bit of my background. So if you don't know anything about me, this is a good episode to start with. So that's why it's the first one. See, I'm smart sometimes. You can come to this episode and I'll talk about myself. So I live in Oklahoma. I am 27 years old. I graduated college in 2016 to be a physical education teacher. I've been trying to get that kind of worked out because I did really want to teach. I love PE. I love kids. I love teaching. So I thought that was a good career path. I mean, you get weekends off, you get long vacations. It's like kind of you don't get paid a whole lot, but you get paid well enough. And if your job is fulfilling, then, you do what you want to do. As long as you can live the life you want to live and you're fulfilling yourself with your job and your home life and where you live and all that, as long as you're having a fulfilling life, then I don't care whatever you want to do, That's my philosophy. I didn't ever want to make lots of money. I just wanted to find the place that I felt comfortable, and I feel comfortable right now. I love the situation I'm in. Besides the money situation, my job now, we go into that. I work at Walmart. I'm an OGP person, online grocery picker. Picker. I do the pick walks and grab the stuff. I'm the guy with the big cart, wait in your way while you're trying to get your macaroni and cheese off the shelf. That's what I do right now, but we'll see what happens. I'm trying to transition to teaching, or even I have lots of things trying to go on, and it's crazy that I'm this late in my life. I'm 27, which is not that late in all relativity, still early in my life, still a young guy, I feel like, but I'm trying to get this whole thing figured out in the next year. And this was a bad year. 2020 was supposed to be like, I was so hyped, I was so ready for this year. I was like, I finally got my debt paid off, that I needed to get my degree because I was on a degree hold. So I finally got all that worked out, and I was coming into this summer, and I was like, yes, all right. I had to take my last test to apply for teacher certification. Passed that sucker, tried to push. It was a little bit too late, and COVID was going on, and so it just kind of all fell apart. So 2020 has been a little bit of a disaster. I mean, pretty much for everybody, it's been a disaster. Except for billionaires. I saw if you follow my Twitter, look at Jamin Riley. Look at that. I just retweeted something today. You might have to search if you're listening to this later. But since the COVID has started in March, the billionaires that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. There was like 8 people on this list. All of them have increased their wealth, like billions, like plus at least, like in some cases, doubled their worth. I'm sure that's their net worth. I won't say I'm sure, but I'm thinking that's what that graph was. It was sourced by Forbes, so I was like, okay, Forbes they're all about the money stuff. So I didn't have to really double check the source, but they all have increased their wealth so much. It's crazy. I don't know why. I don't know how the pandemic would contribute to that. I'm not a financial wizard, but I don't know. It probably seems like something to do with the stimulus package that happened. Everyone had money. They pushed it into other sources, other places. Like people, Amazon, I can see why it jumped up so much. People ordering, not going out, not going, to get their stuff, having it shipped to them. So that increased that. But I was so crazy that it's gone up so much when everyone else is struggling. It seems like restaurant owners, anything public, you go out, that stuff has tanked. So I don't know, it's interesting to see. But so yeah, it pretty much wrecked everyone else's year so far. And but if you're following my channel, you know that I'm trying to do this fitness thing, and I'm really pushing for this hard to by the new year, by December, I want to look good, I don't want to be like shredded, which is probably impossible to do in that amount of time. I mean, not impossible, but impossible for me, because I am motivated and I am willing to put in the work, but when it comes down to it, I don't know if I can change my body that drastically, because I've just never done it. But I don't even know exactly how I would go about it. I mean, I know in theory, but I don't know. I guess we'll just see. We'll see. I feel like I'm talking real fast, and I hope I'm not talking like way crazy fast. I'll try to slow down, but I get excited and I have something to say and I really talk fast. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm thinking that I want to have a six pack. I want you to be able to see my abs. I want to be definitely more tone, because I'm still got that jelly belly, jiggling around everywhere. But I want to slim down for sure. If I can't have a six pack, or I can't have like nice biceps, or my chest, doesn't look like super ripped. I would at least like to be real slim, like feel real slim, fit into my old shirts that are kind of too small. I'd like to get back to that. If I can't be, toned up real nice, then I'd at least like to be slimmer, and feel better, which I feel so much better since when we first started this. Like, this weekend I had kind of a bender. We went crazy a little bit and had lots of food, and we celebrated, and we just had fun this weekend. And this weekend was the first weekend that we kind of really had a cheat weekend, pretty much. And that's the weekend after we had meal prepped and ate super clean the whole week. Like, we're talking grilled chicken, grilled steak, grilled pork chop, that kind of thing, with vegetables and low amounts of carbs. So we really hit it hard, and I had no energy this week, like no energy to. I would love to get up and run in the mornings, or at least do push-ups or even stretch, but there was only. And I would even run or work out after work. But this whole week, I didn't do anything in the mornings. I think I stretched one morning. I stretched like 2 or 3 nights, which I usually don't stretch at night. But I didn't run or do any workouts for like 3 days of that week, because I was just like so tired and drained, And so so to get to today, I went on a 2-mile run, and I felt really good. And I still feel like, looking at, when you work out and stuff, and you look down at your body and you're like, it looks different. I feel different. You feel your pants, you feel this, and you're like, okay. Today I feel like, after I got up and I weighed, I was like, okay. And then I kind of felt bad, but I had coffee. And then I still kind of felt bad. My feet kind of hurt. And I was like, all right, well, I have to run anyways. But right when I started running and I was getting out there and I was breathing a little bit hard, I started to feel better. And now it's been like 30 minutes since I ran. And I'm in this good place. Like, I feel real good. And that's what exercise will do for you. I mean, if you guys are thinking about exercising, do it. If you're thinking about dieting, do it. Because your health is so important, for your long term, for your short term, for everything. It helps your mindset. It helps all kinds of things. I'm a true believer in that. This is your sign. If you're thinking about it, do it. It doesn't mean go ham, like right off the bat. Don't go so hard. Don't kill yourself. Start with walks. Start with jogs. If you can't jog, I shouldn't have jogged. I shouldn't have started jogging so early because I was such a fat guy, and I'm still such a fat guy. My feet still hurt. But the first, like when we started like when I was doing interval training and HIIT workouts and all that kind of stuff, I was doing fine. Like as far as pains or nothing, I wasn't very sore anywhere, which is by design because I wasn't pushing myself strenuously because I was trying to train more days and have no rest days besides like one day. I had one rest day. So my whole goal was to exercise high repetition, high-ish repetition, like, upper 10, like 3 sets of 10-ish. So like 10, 11, 12, 13, kind of fluctuating for whatever exercise, So I was keeping them kind of higher, shorter reps. Because it's all body work. It was all push-ups, burpees, air squats, those kind of things. And I felt great, and I was doing that pretty well, but I hadn't hit the diet super strong yet. I was counting the calories, but I was keeping them still about 1,700, which my goal to lose weight, like 2 pounds a week, was like 2,000, because I'm a fat guy. You can, if you're eating 3,000 calories a day and then you stop and you move to 2,000, you're going to lose weight. But I wasn't seeing the amount of weight loss that I wanted from the HIIT workouts and from all those. I had a dumbbell, I was doing dumbbell curls, things like that. And I think maybe, hopefully, that I wasn't losing as much weight because I was actually building some muscle. And that was keeping my weight a little bit higher. But I don't know, but I wasn't really feeling that, or I wasn't really seeing that. But I think that's kind of what was going on, because I was still having kind of high calories. 1,700 for what I thought was still kind of high. Right now, I think with our meal prep, we're more like around 1,200 a day. And I saw a significant drop this week with the meal prep than before. And my whole thing was that I wanted to just drop weight as fast as I could. So I started to run and jog. And because I was still so big, I think in my tiny little feet, putting all this weight and stress on my feet, running, and, I'm not trying to like sprint or anything out there. I'm just trying to, jog, basically. But I think my feet are hitting the ground so hard because of the weight I have and all that. And it's just kind of like, bro, my feet are like, bro, you're killing us. You're too fat, dude. Your feet, you're stretching us out. You're whatever. You're beating us up. And so my feet have been killing me. And plus at work, I'm a picker. I walk around all day. Like I walk literally like 4 miles a day. Wait a minute. No. It's more than that. It's like 4 to 6 miles a day just at work. And then I run a mile or whatever. So I'm walking around all day, and then I'm pounded on my feet, like on the cement out there and the asphalt, and my feet were just killing me. So this last week, I kind of took some days off more, and I stretched at night. I just didn't have the energy to run, but my feet were hurting so bad. So that was another factor of why I didn't run that week. But I hope and I pray that when I lose more weight, it'll be easier to jog, because I think jogging is so good, so important for like just losing weight. I think it's very important. So yeah, there's a little bit of a update for workout and weight loss. My goal is to be like 180, something like that. I want to get to 180, see what I look like, and then kind of go from there. I'm at 195 right now, so that's 15 more pounds because I was at 210 when I started. So I'm at 195, and it's 15 more pounds. Hopefully I can do that by let's see, September, October, maybe, hopefully end of October. That'd be nice. 2 more months to lose 15 pounds, because it took me like a month and a half probably to lose this 15. So now that's probably not, I guess it depends on how hard I can push myself in the next 2 months, because I may have, I may have to push, it may take longer than that, because I don't know if I'm at a plateau yet. You can shred weight real fast when you start, but then you hit that plateau and you gotta kind of switch things up. I think that's what we did this week. We went really low carb. Not really, really low carb, because we still had carbs. We had potatoes and we had rice and stuff like that, but we had significantly smaller portions than we would have if we weren't just eating cleaner, So, I don't know. That's some thoughts about diet and my workouts. So we'll move on to something else. I want to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. I always hate saying Tsushima because I feel like I'm saying it wrong, and I'm gonna offend somebody, or I don't know, just for my own. I feel like people are like, Tsushima? What are you talking about, dude? And I'm like, it's Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima. It's hard to say. Why don't they name it, something easier? Ghost of Japan. Oh, easy. But it's great. It's my favorite game for sure this year, probably last year. It's my favorite game since God of War came out for PS4. I love 3D. Well, what am I trying to say? Not first-person shooters, but like action-adventure games, third-person. That's what it is, not 3D. Third-person action-adventure games like God of War, Spider-Man. Oh gosh, I just forgot about Spider-Man until just now. Another one of my favorite games. Batman Arkham City, for the longest time, has been touted as my favorite game of all time. When I played that like years ago when it first came out, I was mind blown. Like after Arkham Asylum, I was like, this is cool. Then you get to explore the city, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And all the stuff with the Joker and Mark Hamill's amazing. And we still had the Batman guy doing the Batman voice, Conrad. What's his name? Kevin Conrad? I think that's his name. But Kevin Conroy. I think it's Kevin Conroy. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of them too. But it's just a great package. It's a great game. People like to make fun of the fighting mechanics in there with the striking and then the countering. But hey, I think it's fun. It's cool to see Batman flying all around and you directing him, and it's not too much of a there's skill involved in it. You have to plan all this out, but excuse me. Sorry. My tummy's a little gassy right now, I guess. But yeah, so it's I'd really have to sit down and think about it. And is it kind of bad to say that a brand new game that came out is your favorite game, like of all time? Like a lot of people's favorite games of all time connect to like a certain memory or like nostalgia. I would say that anyways. Like if a lot of people that I've seen talk about their favorite games, it's always something from their past, like something that they can look back and be like, this, when I had this experience playing this game, it was the greatest thing. It was the greatest moment of my life. And they're like, this is my favorite game. And then they can look back on that and think, wow, this is my favorite game. Even though maybe it's not as good now, just by the standard of new games that have came out and are way better. Like I would say that Spider-Man is probably, is a better game than Batman Arkham City, just because of all the mechanics and the swinging and I mean, it looks better, the graphics, all that. Probably the world, the setting. But just because it's a better game, does that mean I can't say that Batman Arkham City is my favorite game? You know, it's like if it's better, if it's your favorite, I don't know. It's kind of a weird question to me, anyways. I would say Ghost of Tsushima is probably my favorite game. And I haven't even beat it yet, so I really can't say, because maybe it gets shitty halfway through. You know, I'm still in the first act, but I just love being in that world. I love all the combat, the arrows. It's so great. People that know me, samurai shit is my shit. It's what I love. Getting a samurai tattoo eventually, samurai sword. Please don't call me a cultural appropriator. I don't like that. I'm not trying to, but you know, it's just awesome to me. Like, I want to celebrate this culture. I want to celebrate these brave, honorable men that fought, you know, for their lords and their country back then, and they used just swords and bows and arrows, and my gosh, that had to have been like brutal and crazy. And it's that tattoo for me is to help remind me, like, you know, there was serious badasses that lived in the past, and if you lived back then, would you be a badass? What would you do? You know, how would you live? And I have to apply that to, like, today. You know, am I gonna be a badass? Am I gonna be a warrior in my own way? You know, like in your community, in your house, can you do that? Can you live up to that honor? Can you live up to those standards, you know, honoring your Lord, blah, 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 but in the modern day sense? That's what it represents for me. And to get in shape, to, you know, you couldn't be out of shape and be a samurai, you know, you had to work hard. That's why I love anime shows. They just get you pumped up. You see these training montages, you see all these, what they go through, they fight, they have strong beliefs, strong wills. It's great. I want to do that. I want to have strong will. I want to get fit. I want to be a badass. Yeah, I'm sorry. I go on tangents. I just talk. It's just me here. I'm just talking. I'm just in my house, just talking. So, I really don't know what else to say. Or should I filter myself? Should I try to keep on topic? Should I just jump around? That's why I need someone else. I need a co-host, or a freaking, just a guest, you know? Where you at? Holler at me, people. I'll talk to you. We'll chat. It'll keep me more focused, you know? We'll actually have a conversation and not just jump around, hopefully. Unless we both have just squirrel attention spans. Yeah. I forgot. I had something else to say about samurai, or about Ghost of Tsushima. I had a thought that I was going to go somewhere with it, but now I've lost it. So podcasts are usually about an hour. Since this is just my first little podcast introduction type thing, I guess I'll just keep it a crisp 30 minutes. We're almost at the 30-minute mark, so I'll just kind of leave it at that. Like, this is kind of an intro to me. I guess I should have probably, you know what I should have done? I should have got like a list to look at of like, what's your favorite this, and this, and then I could have went down it and really talked about my favorite movie, my favorite music, my favorite video game, my favorite food, drink, all that, you know? That would have been a great introduction to me. Why didn't I think of this before? I'm already at the end of the podcast, I just said, and now I have to close this out, and I can't do all that. I mean, I still could, but I don't want to. I think that I've had 30 minutes. I think that's good. if I don't have a guest next time, which I have some people, I have some guests lined up, or not, I have one guest lined up. I could also have just Megan come on and talk to me. But but I have one lined up. Hopefully that'll be next week. I want to do one podcast a week every Monday, release it every Monday. So if or even sooner than that, if I have people that will come on and talk and record and I have the time, I'll upload as many as I can record with people. But to have a tentative plan, I want to do at least one every Monday, posted every Monday. So maybe if I don't have a guest, like in a little bit, maybe I'll just do another one, and I will do my favorites type thing. But until then, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you did, and you got all the way to this point, I thank you so much. I can't believe that you listened to this for this long. You're amazing. And follow me on Twitter, because I will do updates there if people follow me enough on Twitter, and we get the the podcast going. And you can talk to me there. Tell me if you want to come on the podcast for real. Just let me know. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much, and take care.